Published 07/28 EDT, the 5th of September 2017. Updated 11/26 EDT, the 5th of September 2017. For the first time, 5 Premier League clubs will be in this season's Champions League group stage, and the intrigue has already started with the release of the 25-man squads. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, James Wilson, Philippe Coutinho, Adam Lallana and Danny Rose are in, Diego Costa, Nathaniel Clyne, Danny Ings, Erik, Lamela and Vincent Janssen out. Sportsmail assesses the strengths and weakness from the players selected by Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham and Liverpool, and asks if any of them can become first English club to reach the final since 2012. Real Madrid are the team to beat this season, having won the last 2 Champions League titles. Goalkeepers Manchester United, Chelsea and Tottenham can justifiably claim to have world-class no-ones. Who wears the goalkeeper's jersey for Liverpool is less clear, with Loris Karius replacing Simon Mignolet for the last league game. Focus in Rotterdam will be on Manchester City's £35 million Edison when they face Feyenoord, though the much-maligned Claudio Bravo is also in Pep Guardiola's CL squad. All eyes will be on new Manchester City goalkeeper Edison when the group stage starts. Defenders' eyebrows were raised when England right-back Nathaniel Clyne was left out of Jurgen Klopp's squad because of a back injury. Liverpool haven't put a timeline on his return, but the assumption has to be it's more long-term than previously thought. City can select between £120 million full-backs Kyle Walker, Benjamin Mendy and Danilo, while Jose Mourinho has 9 international defenders to choose from, including Luke Shaw, who is included. Tottenham fans will be glad to see Danny Rose named, even though the left-back hasn't played since January. A bonus for Antonio Conte is being able to play Andreas Christensen as a B-list player. In addition to the main 25-man squad, clubs are allowed to select any players who were born in 1996 or afterwards who have been with them for at least 2 years unbroken. Nathaniel Clyne was left out of the Liverpool 25-man squad because of his back injury. Young Chelsea defender Andreas Christensen can be included on the B-list. Midfield goalkeepers Loris Karius, Simon Mignolet, Danny Ward. Defenders Dejan Lovren, Joe Gomez, Ragnar Klavan, Alberto Moreno, Andy Robertson, Joel Matip, John Flanagan, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Midfielders Jorginho Wijnaldum, James Milner, Philippe Coutinho, Jordan Henderson, Marco Grujic, Adam Lallana, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Emre Can, Shio. Forwards Roberto Firmino, Mohamed Salah, Daniel Sturridge, Sadio Mane, Dominic Solanke. Clubs aren't allowed to pick more than 17 overseas players in the squads, which means there is no room for Erik, Lamela in Tottenham's Champions League party. Another winger, Lazar Markovic, is also excluded by Liverpool, but Adam Lallana is included, though he might miss the first 3 group games through injury. Coutinho is also in after his summer flirtation with Barcelona. The foreign player restrictions have reduced Guardiola to naming only 21 players in his A squad rather than the permitted 25, but he won't be too upset when you look at the quality of the midfield players at his disposal: Kevin De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Ilkay Gundogan, Leroy Sane, Raheem Sterling, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Yaya Toure and Fabian Delph. Mourinho and Conte are similarly blessed and pick new signings: Nemanja Matic, Danny Drinkwater and Timu Bakayoko. Kennedy is also in Chelsea's squad despite being sent home from the club's pre-season tour of China following a derogatory tweet. Jurgen Klopp has named Philippe Coutinho in his squad despite the Brazilian's efforts to leave. Kennedy was a surprise inclusion in Chelsea's Champions League squad. Striker's headline news was that Mourinho has named Zlatan Ibrahimovic in his squad. up for the Swede, who might not be able to play until January. James Wilson is also named in the A squad because Marcus Rashford qualifies for the B list as HES still only 19. At Chelsea, Conte has not named Costa despite the Spain international being included in the Premier League squad. Atletico Madrid will be relieved as Costa could have been captained if he had turned out for Chelsea in the competition. Despite the reputation for bringing on English youth, Tottenham are also hampered by the restrictions on number of foreign players, and with Son Heung-min and £14 million signing Fernando Llorente named alongside Harry Kane, there is no room for Dutchman Vincent Janssen. Liverpool can add teenager Ben Woodburn as a B-list player in addition to Daniel Sturridge, Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane. Oddly, Ryan Kent and Shiojo also appear on the B-list, though they are currently on loan with Freiburg and Fulham respectively. Manchester City have only 2 strikers, but Guardiola has gone for quality rather than quality. Most teams would love Gabriel Jesus and Sergio Aguero in the lineups. Diego Costa was not included in Chelsea's Champions League squad, which is good news for suitors Atletico Madrid, as he would have been captained. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was included in Manchester United's 25-man squad despite injury. Goalkeepers Thibaut Courtois, Willy Caballero, Eduardo. Defenders David Zappacosta, Victor Moses, Cesar Azpilicueta, David Luiz, Jake Clark-Salter, Antonio Rudiger, Andreas Christensen, Gary Cahill, Marcos Alonso. Midfielders Kennedy, N'Golo Kante, Kyle Scott, Timu Bakayoko, Cesc Fabregas, Danny Drinkwater, Charlie Musonda, Pedro, Willian, Eden Hazard. Forwards Michy Batshuayi, Alvaro Morata. Goalkeepers Hugo Lloris, Michel Vorm, Paulo Gazzaniga. Defenders Kieran Trippier, Danny Rose, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen, Davinson Sanchez, Joan Foyth, Serge Aurier, Ben Davis. Midfielders Georges Kevin Gaudu, Victor Wanyama, Erik Dia, Moussa Sissoko, Moussa Dembele, Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen. Forwards Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, Fernando Llorente. Champions League pedigree. Chelsea have the edge both in recent history and current personnel. They were the last English team to reach the final, when they famously beat Bayern Munich on penalties in 2012, and boast 4 players with Champions League winners' medals on the CV: David Luiz and Gary Cahill from that final, and Pedro and Alvaro Morata, who was a late sub when Real Madrid beat Juventus in May. Liverpool are synonymous with the European Cup, and the fans will proudly chant "We won it" 5 times when Sevilla arrive at Anfield for match day 1 on September 13, but nobody in Jurgen Klopp's current squad knows what it's like to emulate Steven Gerrard and win big years. Chelsea were the last Premier League side to win the competition back in 2012, ditto the Spurs players, who will be anxious to improve last year's Wembley record in Europe of 1 win in 4. Manchester United captain Michael Carrick can tell his teammates about winning the Champions League in Moscow in 2008. Juan Mata was part of Chelsea's successful team 4 years later. Manchester City have never reached a Champions League final, but 2 of the players have won the trophy: Yaya Touré with Barcelona against Manchester United in 2009, and Danilo, who was a substitute for Real Madrid in 2016. Pep Guardiola is desperate to emulate his success with Barcelona at Manchester City. Players to look out for: goalkeepers Claudio Bravo, Ederson, Aro Murak. Defenders Danilo, Vincent Kompany, Eliakim Mangala, Benjamin Mendy, Nicolas Otamendi, John Stones, Kyle Walker. Midfielders Fabian Delph, Kevin De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Ilkay Gundogan, Leroy Sane, Raheem Sterling, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Yaya Toure. Forwards Sergio Aguero, Gabriel Jesus. When Luis Suarez was denied the chance to leave Liverpool in 2013, he responded by patting on the season. of his life and went to Barcelona the following summer. If Coutinho is in the right frame of mind, he should try and light up the biggest stage and show he really is a £100 million player. Ben Woodburn, 17, showed with his World Cup winner for Wales against Austria he loves the pressure games. Ironically, Coutinho was on the Inter Milan bench when Spurs beat the Italians 3-1 in the 2009 Taxi for Mycon game, which announced Gareth Bale on the world stage. Bale will return to face his former club with Real Madrid this year, and Kane and Dele Alli will be desperate to prove they deserve to be included in the category of world class. Also, watch out for Harry Winks, who is on the Spurs B list and could play a part in the group if fit. Young Ben Woodburn made a name for himself by scoring wireless winner against Austria. New signings will be key at the other clubs. Bernardo Silva was signed by Guardiola to give Manchester City the flair and creativity you need in Europe. Mourinho will prioritise power and the spine of his team of giants. Eric Bailly, Matic, Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku will set the tone for Manchester United. Lukaku has never played in the Champions League before, a big omission for a £75 million striker. Although Alvaro Morata's goals will produce headlines for Chelsea, Conte will be just as enthusiastic at seeing Bakayoko, part of Monaco's run to the semi-finals last year. The £40 million Frenchman is why the club let Matic leave. Romelu Lukaku is set to gain his first Champions League experience with Manchester United. Managers' experience. Mourinho and Guardiola are proven course and distance winners. They have 2 trophies apiece in their careers, and would love to join Bob Paisley and Carlo Ancelotti on the magical number 3. Conte will recognise Juventus reached 2 Champions League finals in the 3 years after he left Turin, and won't rest until HES reached one himself. Goalkeepers: David De Gea, Sergio Romero. Defenders: Antonio Valencia, Eric Bailly, Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, Victor Lindelof, Marcos Rojo, Daley Blind, Matteo Darmian, Luke Shaw. Midfielders: Paul Pogba, Ander Herrera, Nemanja Matic, Marwan Fellaini, Michael Carrick, Ashley Young, Jesse Lingard, Henrik Mkhitaryan, Joan Mata. Forwards: Anthony Martial, Romelu Lukaku, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, James Wilson, Marcus Rashford. Klopp did reach a final in 2013, but his Borussia Dortmund side lost to Bayern Munich. That won't sit easy with the German, particularly as HES subsequently lost a Europa final with Liverpool. Mauricio Pochettino is a relative novice, and until he lands a trophy or goes deep into the Champions League, there will be question mark about whether his players can sustain the supercharged energy levels over a full season. Predicted finish: the huge outlay from PSG on Neymar and Kylian Mbappé has placed them into a European elite with Real Madrid, Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Manchester City and Manchester United have been spending bit themselves on the likes of Bernardo Silva, Ederson, Matic and Lukaku, and will be hoping to reach the quarter-finals and maybe further if they avoid one of the big guns in the draw. Liverpool and Chelsea have the quality to qualify for the knockout stages, though the intensity of the competition may make further progress beyond. On recent European form, the ones you fear for are Tottenham, who will have to finish ahead of either Real Madrid or Borussia Dortmund in the group. One hopes if they finish third, ahead of Apoel Nicosia, they take the Europa League seriously. Mourinho showed last season the rewards are there if you do.